Hey guys, welcome to the channel. For those who don't know who we are, I'm Kazi and I play mostly gacha games together with my wife Nat. We've been gaming for a long time, played basically almost every mobile game you can think of. And right now we're playing a new game called Go Go Muffin. Some of you might have heard of it, some of you not. For those who are long-time viewers of the channel, we're having a lot of fun with this one, so I'd like to take some time in this video to explain a bit how the game works, what it's all about, because honestly it's been a blast so far. So Go Go Muffin, it is a idle game first and foremost, but it's more like an MMORPG slash idle game hybrid. So and of course it has some gacha mechanics as well. Um, it's really perfect for gamers who like, this is the classic idle game. You have a busy schedule, but you really enjoy gaming, and an idle game is where you go. And for me, this offers a lot that a lot of other idle games don't have. You have this classic MMORPG experience with dungeons, trials, raids. It has Holy Trinity. Like, when's the last time you heard of an idle game that has the Holy Trinity, the healer, tank, DPS needed in parties? It's almost unheard of. And it plays a major role in content. Like, you're gonna end up in high-level raids where you literally will not be able to beat it unless you have a good tank who knows what they're doing, a good healer who knows when to heal or use their barrier, and DPS who knows how to interrupt at the right moments. There are these types of mechanics in the game, which is really quite a lot of fun. So, everything in the game is done with parties. Even when you're fighting monsters idly, I'm sure most people are familiar with the concept of an idle game. Your character passively kills monsters to gain experience and gold. Even this is done in a team of two. Dungeons and trials, these are done in a team of 4, and then we have the Dragon Raid, which is done in a team of 6. So really, no matter what you're doing in Go Go Muffin, you're very rarely doing it alone. There's a lot of group mechanics. I want to just go over like a high-level overview of most of the systems in the game, and of course we will be following up with more detailed guides about various systems as time goes on. So just to show you here, I've got myself playing the assassin class and my wife is playing the archer class. Both DPS classes, quite a lot of fun, quite different in how they play, but both have serious DPS potential. So let's start by looking at the main screen here. I'm going to just start on the right hand side. So starting off, you have Rookie Trials. And Rookie Trials is something you probably see in quite a few gacha games. This is like sort of guiding you through the basic systems of the game, like what you should be doing, reach level 20, reach level 25, and rewarding you as you progress through the basic mechanics of the game. Always good to check in here, see what's not claimed, do that, and get the rewards for it. Next up, you have the journal. This is where you get all of your rewards for clearing the main story, which are quite good rewards, so always check in here, claim all the rewards for clearing the main story. Then you have your daily quests and your weekly quests, pretty self-explanatory. I very much recommend always doing these because the rewards are very good, and the rewards scale as you unlock more content. So as you unlock more systems, the rewards you get from dailies and weeklies actually increases, which is pretty nice because a lot of games just have flat rewards. And as you progress through the game, eventually the daily rewards just seem kind of useless. And in Go Go Muffin, that's never the case. You always want to do your dailies and weeklies. As I'm sure many of you know, when it comes to idle games, it's a lot about building up momentum from the early point in the game and then snowballing and just getting stronger and stronger and collecting as many resources as possible in order to achieve that. So that's, and of course, sorry, just mentioning you have also your achievements here, which you should also keep checking out. Next up, this is the companion window. This is where you can see the party member that you're basically in your idle party with. You have 2 players here, and you can see what's kind of nice. You have all the past actions here. You can see, all the information here. And one thing that's nice is having a 2-person idle party. You do have to manually advance stages, but one or the other of your party can advance the stage. So if you're like not online but your party member is, they can press the advance button and both of you will advance. So that's pretty clutch because, like, say you have a super busy day, you're just not going to make it at a certain time, your party member can advance for you. I like that, and it's been quite useful at times. Next up, and this is a little bit of a bigger section. I'm not going to go into like ultra detail here, but just to give a high-level overview, you have here rifts. Rifts is going to be where you get gear primarily. Gear, like, you know, there's I'll go into a little more detail about the gear system, but you have, you know, basic equipment that you would expect in other games. You can collect power crystals, which allow you to advance the gear to legendary and so on. So very important. You have Rift Stamina here, which you can replenish with Stellarites, which are like the premium currency, and you can collect these apples too from certain places. Right now I'm capped at 60 out of 60. That's a bad habit. Don't let that happen, because you basically want to always keep yourself uncapped so you benefit from the natural stamina regeneration. Next up, you have Perilous Trials. Perilous Trials are like a more challenging version of the rifts. So once you clear a rift, you unlock the Perilous Trial for that rift. And it's got leaderboards, so you're going to go here in the challenge moment. You can see there is a ranking to who managed to clear it first. And so this is like basically a little bit of a race. See who can unlock the content first, and then who is able to get the first clear, which is a lot of fun. It's nice to have this type of competitive content in the game. And this is challenging. This is challenging. Trials are challenging. You can't expect to walk in here and just overpower it with lots and lots of DPS. There are mechanics that will one-shot you if you don't do them properly. Next up, you have the Dragon Bounty. This is what I mentioned earlier. It is a 6-man raid. And you do it daily to get rewards. The more damage your party deals up to killing the dragon, in fact, if you're strong enough, the more chests you unlock, which is really good. You have to do this every day to get the rewards. And again, it has rankings as well. For every class you can go through here. Then the final section here is what's called Waves of Horror. Waves of Horror, basically, it's... well, the name is somewhat self-explanatory. You're basically clearing 24 waves of lots of monsters. This differs from the other modes, which is primarily fighting one big boss. This is fighting hordes of monsters, and occasional waves will have bosses. I think every 8 stages or something like that has a boss. And there's easy mode, normal mode, hard mode, and you're basically trying to clear this as quickly as you possibly can. And then, of course, like everything else in the game, there is a leaderboard as well, which is nice. I mean, the game has a lot of leaderboards. It's for me personally, having played quite a lot of idle games in the past, that's something I've felt is often missing. It's like this competitive drive, this ability to actually clear content and compete with others. You know, some idle games are just super solo, and everything you're doing is just not really as impactful. The game does have guilds, which is great. Here's our little guild hall, which is cute. I like this. I like how they've designed the guild. You have your tree over here. This is how the guild gains experience. Everyone has to water this up to 5 times a day. Most guild leaders will ask that you do all 5. Spend your stellarite watering the tree. You have the service area here where you can actually buy pretty useful materials here as the guild levels up, and you gain this currency as well, which you can spend in the guild store. There's a wishing wall here where you can request... you gather flowers, and then you can request fragments of Melomons, which I'll explain a bit later. And then finally, you have the expedition here, which is, again, just a way to get more resources. You can do this with players, or invite clones of their players to join the expedition with you to clear, and you get 1 key per day. So that's pretty much it with this systems here. I'm going to now move along the bottom. Just to point out a few things here as well while I'm on the main screen. As you can see right now, both characters are fighting in full auto. You do actually have a fair amount of customization. If I hold on the auto button, you can turn off auto in particular skills if you want to. For example, the use of this would be like if I want to equip while fighting a boss a skill that doesn't interrupt, then I can equip the interrupt skill, turn auto off for it, and then manually cast it whenever I need to interrupt. So that's really the benefit here. But I would say as DPS, more often than not, you're going to be quite okay running full auto. However, tanks and healers pretty much have to run manual almost all the time. So that's something to be aware of. If you want to play a tank or healer, you're not going to just be able to sit there and auto. You're going to need to actually pay close attention to what you're doing because you might wipe the party. DPS, I don't want to say we have an easier task, but certainly we have the potential to auto more than tanks and healers do. World chat, of course, which has been going on since I've had the screen open. And then in the bottom left here, let's start going over these UI elements here. So on the bottom left, you have the camp, which as you can see is a lot of stuff here. And I really I will just go kind of quickly through all these. Again, we're going to be making more videos going into more detail about some of this content, but I just want to give you an understanding. And the top left, you have your settings, friends list. Here you have at the top, this is what's called the Path of Heroes. Basically, as you unlock content, you get rewards. You have the Hero Chronicle as well. This is where you eventually unlock class changes. Just to touch on that briefly, this game has the base classes, 5 base classes, and then all of these classes have linear class upgrades called class changes. So you start at the base class, and then you have class change 1, class change 2, etc. And I believe from other versions that are known, there are now currently 6 class changes in the game. So actually quite a lot of advancement in this game. So it's pretty exciting. This is one where there's a lot of content. Next up here, I'm just going to go sort of starting at the top, working down. Next up here, you have your daily shop, which has got plenty of useful stuff in here. Most importantly, I would say everything's important, but the most important things are the gold and EXP boosters. I want to make a comment quickly that I should have made earlier in the video, but just to put in perspective, my wife and I are both whale players. We're mostly whales in every game we play, so we don't really have necessarily that free-to-play perspective. So take what we say from the understanding that we're whales. So if I say, hey, just buy the whole shop, that might not be the most efficient thing to do if you're a free-to-play player. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But with that said, I think the EXP boosters is sort of the no-brainer for everybody to buy, no matter if you're free to play or a whale. Next up, you have the Rift supplies, which resets every week. And again, there's some useful stuff here. You can get gear selection chests, these power crystals, which you need to evolve your gear to legendary. And then finally, you have the friendship shop. You get these friendship tokens from grouping up with other people, and especially for doing trials. After you've cleared a trial and you do it with other people, you get 50 per run, I believe. And these are some really good rewards here. You know, you do have quite a long time to collect these rewards. I think the shop resets monthly. Best rewards here by far are the recharge crystals, which are for the artifact system. Probably second are moves, and then everything else follows from there. I'll explain what moves means in a little while. So next up you have this section here. This is the smithy. And this is what I mentioned earlier, where you can take epic level gear, and using the power crystals, you can upgrade them into legendary. And this is really important because the legendary gear has an additional passive effect on them, which is very strong. Like even, for example, when you unlock this next tier of gear here called Icicle, you're still actually going to use these 2 gear pieces because their passive effects are so strong. So you would run the new gear, which is like a much higher level, plus these 2 pieces for the best effect. Next up here, you have a cosmetic shop, the boutique. There's quite a lot of nice cosmetics in the game. You can buy some here. There's also a cosmetics gacha, which I will show shortly. There's, I would say, a fair amount of options for now, but we know that the game is going to introduce a lot of cosmetics as time goes on. So that's something to definitely look forward to. And from what we've seen, they have some good, really, really, really good designs. Actually, some really, really fun designs coming. Next up is a pretty big section, which I will just touch on briefly. Basically, in the bottom right, you see the section Melomons. This is basically your pets, and I will explain that in a little while, but I will just show you in here. This is where you summon them. It is a gacha system, and there's all the different Melomons you can summon, and there are some that are like much better than others. I'm not going to go into detail in this video about like builds and stuff, but we will be doing best in slot video in the future. And of course, you can summon here with Stellarite, which is a premium currency. And sorry, just a little game freeze there. And then you can also, to make it easier, you can just click here and just like type in like, I don't know, 999, which allows you to buy in bulk, which is, a convenient way to do this. When you first start off, you have this wish list here. I'm not sure if this ends in 2 days for all players or if it's from when you made your account, but for now you have the wish list where you can specify which Melomon you want to have show up, and that's guaranteed to show up whenever you find the legendary for 3 times. Then you have this create moves. Sorry, excuse me, I misspoke. It's 50%. I misspoke. It's 50% increase, not 100%. Next up, you have moves. Moves basically are best way to explain it. It is like stat cards that get equipped onto your Melomons, and this is where you collect them. You can every day you can exchange Stellarite to collect these whatever they're called here, rune characters. Thank you, rune characters. So you can go here, you can exchange Stellarite daily, but there's limited. So this is limited up to 15 purchases per day to collect these, and then you go through the system, you collect the moves, and then you can equip them to your Melomon. The final section we haven't unlocked yet, but there are mounts in the game, and the mounts have skills, and also there are really a lot of stats from mounts. We'll unlock them, I think, probably within the next week of progression. By the way, if you just saw what I did here, I clicked on these bubbles that were sitting here. As a free-to-play player, you do get a number of these move currency every day for free. And you can see here now it's cooling down until tomorrow's reset. So you check in here once a day, you can get free moves as a free-to-play player. You don't have to spend for it. But if you do spend, you get an additional amount per day. Then this is your mail. Obviously, you get mail here. This would be like anything you purchase from their web shop, or any they send whenever. There's actually a lot of mails you get from the system when you unlock new systems. You get like lots of resources sent to the mail, so check that often. And then finally here, not finally, but finally in this main section here, we have a very, very, very important gacha system, which is the skills gacha. And this is really the bread and butter of a lot of your character's power and damage output, healing output, tanking ability. It is skills. And there are a lot of skills. Now, there is a very clearly understood best in slot for these for each class, which we will go into in another video. But basically, it is a gacha system. You gacha for skills, and then as you basically convert skills you already have maxed, you get this star essence, which most people just call goo. And using the star essence, you can actually buy and reset the shop here and buy specific skills that you're missing. Very useful. And I will point out here, just because this is important to know, whenever you're accessing this shop, you do have these 8 what are called universal skills here that give you additional collection stats when you get them by starring them up. You would probably never equip these skills, but just good to know that if you're doing shop resets, to buy these 8 and star them up, which I will explain when I go to the skills menu. So that's very important. And I will also mention what's kind of nice is there's a very big skill pool. It's a lot of flexibility for trying new builds out. Even though there is a biz, as I said, it could very well be that through testing you might find something better. We're all still testing. The game's new. So it's very exciting. There's a separate gacha for each class change as well. So you're going to have a gacha for the base class. There's going to be a gacha for the first class change and the second class change, and so on and so forth. Then on the left side here, this is where you're going to find all of your events and the cash shop. An example. I'm just going to go briefly. Right now we have this Dog Diaries event. They have a collaboration with Maltese. It's One of the very few times I've seen a game actually launch with the collab. It's a very nice touch, and it's a super cute collab. So basically, you collect these tickets, which allow you to go around the board and get rewards. And as you collect rewards and currency, you can also spend them here in the gift shop. And there's a lot of really good rewards in here. So if you're playing currently or starting, make sure you try to get as many of these rewards as possible. Then you go through the rookie special. The rookie special, excuse me, has some really good packs when you're just starting off. They show up here in the list. Very good value packs if you're looking to spend. I would say they're a no-brainer, most of them. And then you have obviously these. This is the event I mentioned, the wish list for the Melomon, and so on. Next up, you have these two, Problem Solver and High Roller. These are your cosmetic gachas. Now, what's interesting and an interesting choice is that you can't spend premium currency for these rolls. You have to get gacha coupons for this. You get some here for free just from daily logins. And then you also have these packs here, which are all bought out, but you would be able to buy additional gacha tokens here and spend them on the cosmetics. I will say, very important to note, that cosmetics in this game are purely cosmetic. They do not give any additional stats, and they are just to make you look good. I know a lot of people, have asked, like, oh, do the costumes give stats? Because a lot of games do have costumes that give stats. Not here. All the costumes are purely cosmetic. So each of the two costume gachas have a separate login reward, so you can get a fair amount of these. And as you do rolls, you also unlock these chests, which do give additional rewards, such as dyes and stuff like that. I'll show it when I get here, but you basically go into your character's wardrobe, and quite a lot of modifications you can do there. This is the rookie special I mentioned earlier. Here in travel events, you're gonna have the majority of the remaining events here. You have like Dream Traveler, which is another set of cosmetics you can buy. Love Launcher, which is another event to partner up with someone to get rewards. Login gifts, self-explanatory. A monthly check-in, self-explanatory. Make sure you do these. One thing that's interesting to note is that if you'd start the game now, you can retroactively purchase previous check-ins that you've missed in the month. So if you started the game today on the 7th, you could go back and buy the ones that you've missed so that you're caught up to the current day. So that's nice to know that you're not gonna be messed up if you start the game in the middle of the month. You can make up for that. And then Let's Play Together. This is where you can partner up with someone, and as they level up and clear content with you, you get additional rewards. Packs here. This is again weekly packs. Some really good rewards here. If you're a spending player, these are all again no-brainers. If you're maybe a light spender, then you would pick and choose some of these, but I wouldn't be the best to give advice on what's the most efficient from a low spender perspective. This probably is by far the most important thing to buy. I mean, even if you're a free-to-play player, I would say get this, because this gives you additional EXP and gold, which adds up over the long run. This is a game, an idle game after all, and any way you can get additional XP is always worth it. So this is by far the most important thing that everyone should have, no matter what, no matter who you are. If you can get it, please get it. It'll give you that EXP and gold bonus. Very useful. It's just to put in perspective, this costs $5 per month. So that just puts it in perspective here. So next you have the Astro Companion. This is a battle pass style system. You claim daily quests, weekly quests, and seasonal quests, and then unlock higher levels to get better rewards. And there are some very good rewards here. So again, probably worth getting as well. And then finally, in the purchase section here, you can purchase these Stellarites, which are the premium currency of the game. You can see I have these coupons here. The game does have an online web portal where you can purchase these coupons to purchase in-game packs at a 5% discount over using either the Google or Apple Play stores. So that's an option for those who, prefer to go directly to the developers and not via Apple or Google. That pretty much sums up the camp menu. Moving on, let's go to Stash. Now, Stash is where you're going to see your gear, your inventory, and all that type of stuff here. So when you click on a gear, you can see here you have, all the stats. You have set stats for certain equipment. You have the legendaries, passives, like I mentioned. You can enhance your gear. So luckily, there's a quick enhance button. If I just press that, boom, it enhances all my gear, except for these because I ran out of these stones, which I will get later. But basically, you have these 9 pieces of gear, and as you continue to level up, you're basically going to get higher levels of gear. Now, this basically, some of these gear drop just from clearing the idle waves. Some of them come from the rifts that I told you about earlier. But basically, you collect gear. Excuse me. You enhance it. Then you also have the recast system. I'm going to unfortunately decline Mega Shield's invitation because I'm busy right now. Recasting, you have you have this material here called just raw material, which you can use to recast. Basically, you randomly reroll these stats. Generally speaking, in the early game, you would probably not spend too much of this, but you'd basically just roll until you get a decent enough roll on the gear that has the stats you're looking for. Once you unlock the first class change, you get to a geared tier called Icicle Gear. That's probably when you would start really spam recasting to try to get very high level rolls here. These can go up to level 5. And if you get a 555 with the best stats, that's really, really good. Here in items, you have all the different currencies and everything you can collect, and some of the rookie packs and stuff have chests, which will show up here, so make sure you always check here to, double check that you don't have a chest sitting here that has stuff in it that you can use. And then fragments, this is like all the fragments for Melomons, for skills, for mounts eventually when you unlock it. And you have this convert button. Basically, it allows you to convert any duplicates of stuff you already have maxed. So all these Melomons are here showing up because I have the max amount of dupes needed to max these out. So I could just press the convert button and it would convert them into bells, which I'll show quickly. It would convert them into bells, which you can spend back in the Melomon menu here to buy these Melomon here, which resets again weekly. Just something to keep in mind. So now moving on from stash again and rejecting Mega Shield's invitation. Sorry, Mega Shield. Here you have your info section. This is where you're going to see quite a lot of information. You have number 1, your stats. I'm going to go to info here as well. So on this screen, Natto here is the assassin, and Natto, my wife's character, is the archer. So you have all of your skills here, and the ones that we have equipped are the known best in slot for these characters. Assassin, for example, you can see I have leveled the core skill up to 65, and the rest are slightly lower level because Assassin's main DPS pre-class change comes from core skill, for example. And again, we'll go into these details later. You do have presets here, so you click the presets, and you can assign the presets to use in various game modes. That way you don't have to worry about, I'm going to go into this game mode, what do I do? You just assign it, you go here, you say use, and you can check all the ones you want to use it in, and that's what you do. And then you click here to save a preset. When you want to make changes, you choose here to which preset you want to save over. When you click on the skills, you have a few options. You can star it up as you collect duplicates. This one is maxed, for example, and you can see all the stats you gain from that when it's equipped. And then you can collect these star XP, comes from the idle stages and from packs as well, and this upgrades the level of the skill. And as you upgrade the level, you get additional bonuses here. Again, probably we'll go into more detail about skills later, but just gives you an overview of the system. Skills are very important. And again, if you click here, you can see a detailed stats breakdown. This game has quite a lot of stats, but the most important ones here are all highlighted. And when you click on them, it gives you a good explanation as to what does what, so quite a good stat overview system. Additionally, here you have class change quest, which I actually went through earlier. This is one we're going to unlock soon to get to the next tier. You can see both Archer and Assassin level up to Ranger and Darkblade. Then you have here the talents screen. Now this is quite cool because right now at this low level we only have a few talents equipped. Oh, I have to unlock these now, but it's fine because I'm still using the Biz ones. But basically, as you continue to level up, you unlock all these different talent. I think they're just called talent discs, and each one of them has this talent tree, which you can basically choose. You know, some of them have a left or right choice. Others, like this, is a linear choice. But as you level up, you gain these talent fruit. I think they're called talent seeds, and you basically gain these additional passive effects, which are very good. So very important to double check for your class what the best talents are because it can make or break your build in a big way. So you can see both of both Archer and Assassin are running Forging Foundations, which increases attack frequency, but have this class-specific one different on both, as you can see here. So talents are very important. Artifact is a system we're actually unlocking later. Probably will deserve its own video because it's very, very important, but it gives a lot of stats. But we unlock this as we progress through the main story. And again, Riders League is the mount system, which, you know, not only has a skill, but gives a lot of stats, which again is unlocked through the main story progression. This is part of the reason why I mentioned earlier that the most important thing to get is XP, because having that EXP allows you to progress through the game quicker, allows you to unlock more content, get more powerful, and continue snowballing. That is the name of the game. So moving on finally to the final UI element here is Melomons. And Melomons are pets, basically. There's a lot of games that have the type of pet system. And again, this is a pretty deep system. I would just give sort of a high-level overview. Essentially, you collect pets from the summon, the Gacha summon, and then you can star them up using duplicates. You can upgrade them using this pet food and super growth snacks that you can collect in game. And basically, you have one main Melomon equipped, and then 2 support Melomons. The second support unlocks at level 70. So the way this works, basically, your main Melomon has a primary skill here, and then you can equip, once you finally unlock it, 3 additional passive skills that you can take from other pets that you've collected. So you basically have to decide for your class what are the best passive skills out of all the different Melomons that are going to be best for you. So 1 second, the game's froze. There we go. So that's very important and it has a big impact on your damage. Melomons are a huge damage source, and you can see here if I click on this, like whenever you trigger a critical hit or a determination, increases damage by 72%, and when triggering both together, the damage stacks. So I I don't have to say anything. I mean, that's 144% damage increase from one skill, and you've got 4 of them. So this is very, very important source of damage. I will say, though, the support Melomons do not contribute anything other than stats. So the main Melomon is where you set your skills, and then the support Melomons give you stats based on their level and star level. And also, this is what I referred to earlier, the moves. So moves, you can equip up to 4 on each of your 3 Melomons. Right now, only 3 are unlocked. But basically, you have an attack slot, a defensive slot, and then 2 support slots. And if you click on it, you can see here, like this one gives determination. This is like a crit one. There's evasion. There's crit and evasion, determinants and endurance. So all of these moves give different stats, and it's, you know, it's important to go through and understand what the best stats you're aiming for is, because this is quite a significant contributor of stats here. So that's an important system to always stay on top of, and that's what I mentioned earlier here in the camp. This create moves. You're going to do this every single day to create moves, and these are the moves that you're going to equip on your characters. You can see I click go, and it summons these moves here. So very important system. And basically, that's it. I mean, that's a high-level overview of the game. So far, we're maybe, what, 6 or 7 days into the global launch? Maybe less than that, actually. I've lost track of this. It's been so fun. But it's just been a blast. I mean, it's very rare that you find an idle game that has enough content and intrigue, despite being idle, to actually make you want to like continuously log in and stay on top of it and keep experimenting with different builds and stats and growth. It's just a lot of fun, and compared to all the idle games I've played before, I think this really stands on its own and has a chance to be considered one of the best, if not the best idle game. Um, so if you've been looking at the game, you're on the fence, I would say just download it, give it a try. It's free to play. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and I would recommend it. We're having a lot of fun. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, we're gonna be making some more Go Go Muffin content. Drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and hit the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified as soon as we release a new video. And as you can see in the middle of the screen, we do have Discord, discord.gg/Natto. We do plenty of giveaways. It's a great, vibrant community. We have a lot of active chatters and gamers there. It's a great place to, get tips and tricks of any of the games we've played recently. So feel free to join, come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you there. So that's a wrap from me. Hope you learned something today, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.